Hey everyone, Tony Walsh here. Welcome back to the channel. Today, Jackie, Andrew, and I are on a road adventure, and that adventure has brought us to the Florida Air Museum. And there are see a Navy plane there. Where's it at behind me? Air Force Thunderbird back there, and then there's some other planes outside back there. And we will go look at them on our way out. So let's get turned around and go inside and see what we can see. Okay, in front of us is an engine for an A-10 Warthog. It's made by General Electric, and it's a axial flow turbofan engine. Started in the Navy's S-3 Viking and later in the A-10 Thunderbolt. I said Warthog, but A-10 Thunderbolt, and that may be a Warthog. There at the bottom, I can't see all that, but cool looking engine. Sorry for the sunlight because I am looking through the window outside. The sun is on the outside. Got an upside down biplane hanging from the ceiling. Here on the back it says the Pitt Special. Little old plane here. Or a little model of a plane. Another engine there. That clip I showed you come from the front lobby, so we're actually now in the museum, and the first thing when we come in is, I'm assuming, is a basket from a hot air balloon. And I say that because it's got gauges and even has a radio there on the top. And then just here's a big shot of the museum. Airplane made of wood. The Python Pole Air Camper. It's built in 1929. I can tell you, the craftsman that makes a wooden propeller and gets that thing balanced is a true craftsman. Here's a model of a 1913 Benoist. The nose of a plane. It says it's from NOAA, which is the hurricane hunters and all that good stuff. You can actually come sit in this one. If I can get up here without falling. Got all the lights in here, have a reflection on the camera. They've took all the gauges out and switches out, and it's all fake. Yeah, the steering wheel turns. It does pull back. Just some displays of different tools and gadgets that are used. plane upside down there. This one here says Ford. And it's the Ford Flivver replica, 1926. Big biplane hanging from the ceiling here. Let's see what it says. It's a Wright 1903 Flyer replica. That was made of wood and cloth. Here we have a jet back here. Master Sergeant Johnny A. Arpin. And that says Lieutenant Colonel, I imagine, Forrest C. Clark. There had to be some little guys flying this thing. Yep, there's a sign over here. Yeah, F-16 scale model. Yep, so it's not the real deal. Some more scale models. Some old flight suits. The one on the left belonged to Howard Hughes. So that was his flight suit. The one on the right is believed to be the one that Katharine Hepburn wore, according to the sign there. Just some more historic stuff. You know, these type videos I'm not very good at doing. I'm not good at ad-libbing, but there is some interesting stuff here. Some more Howard Hughes stuff. So if you're ever in Central Florida, come give this place a look. It's a bank of phones here. One that says Houston, Los Angeles, New York, TWA, and this one that's turned around says Las Vegas. So don't know whose desk this is. You would assume it's Howard Hughes's, since it's sitting in his little cubby hole here. Another plane called the Little Rocket. It says the pilot was Joe Araldi. Never heard of him. Another little plane here. Go around to the front and see what the signage says. Loving's love. Get another wood propeller. Built in 1949 by Neil Loving. He was the first African American licensed racing pilot, but became the only double amputee to ever race airplanes. Very interesting. And this one here is a Whitman W8 tailwind. And that one up there is the Whitman Chief Oshkosh from 1931. And I guess that's what you call one of them ultralights up top. It's got a shark for a nose. And it's got a sign on the other side, so what do you see what it says? This gray and yellow one here is a 1936 Curtiss Wright. Yeah, that ultralight says M squared breeze 2008 on it. So it's fairly new compared to some of these others. And in an earlier video that I had of us up at Syracuse, New York, Jackie and I sit in the parts of planes. So again, here's just a fuselage, but look how much more room is in these planes compared to planes of nowadays where they cramp you in like ants trying to make a buck, get another person. So here's a desk with some gauges here, gauges there. So I don't know who sat in this. But it's got some signage here with it, talks about a navigator's compartment, so I guess that's just a replica of where the navigator sat. Another desk with windows. And another desk. The windows are covered up by shelving, but got more switches there. Here's the back side of that M squared breeze from 2008. I said backside, but I meant underside of that ultralight. Here we have a CP-30 Emerald. It says the builder was Merle and Bev Lilly from Sarasota, Florida. And I'll get around to where I can read that wing in a minute. So this says the Rans 9 Chaos 1994. Rans, R-A-N-S. See what that other wing says. Second Chance. And then hanging up there is the Red Baron pizza plane. You know, Red Baron has some good pizza. Was one of my all-time favorites. And also, I think when they were in NASCAR, was driven by Kenny Schrader, I believe, who drove the Winston Cup car back from the old days when racing was racing and not that junk they have on TV now. Another plane sitting right here. And then this little yellow and red one here. Another little ultralight right here. I'd be scared to death to fly in one of them things. This one's called the Lightning Bug. Cost $3,000 at its time of construction. Then back to this one here is a 1934 Aeronica LB. Okay, we left the museum and we're in the Bueller Aerospace Center. Just got a bunch of displays of different engines, and you can smell the oil and gasoline in here. Yeah, that's an ultralight engine there. Franklin 0425. And there's a radial engine. If you're mechanically inclined, this would be a neat museum for you to see how all this stuff is constructed. Here's the Allison V12 liquid-cooled engine, developed for World War II. Some of these don't have signs, so I have no clue. And here's a General Electric J33. It was used in the Lockheed P80. And there's just a couple of planes back there in the back. Ooh, and here's a glider hanging right here. It's a 1965 Franklin glider. Okay, here we have the XFV-1 called the Salmon. Salmon, was built by Lockheed in the 1950s to demonstrate the operation of a vertical takeoff and landing fighter for protecting convoys. The chief test pilot was Herman Fish Salmon, and his first test flight was June 16th of 1954. This is only one of 2 prototypes and the only one that ever flew. Now over here is a Piedmont Airlines passenger plane. It's called the Tampa Bay Pacemaker, is what's on the nose of it. And Piedmont used to have a race car back in NASCAR in the old Winston Cup days. And I wonder if any of you can tell me, I know there were at least 2 different drivers of the Piedmont car, but if you can tell me who was the driver that won his first ever race, and I think it was at Riverside, the road course in California. Whoever can tell me who that driver was might get something in the mail from me. This here is a 1970 MiG-21. It says approximately 60 countries across 4 continents have flown this Russian designed plane. Boo to the Ruskies. Obviously you can tell we've left the buildings and we've gone back outside. This one, the propeller is at the rear of the plane. It says this is a Cirrus VX30. There were only 12 of them made. and then it developed into later models, the SR20 and the SR22. And then over here we got a single engine Piper jet, the PA-47, and this is a prototype. It was the only one produced. First flew in July of 2008 and canceled in October of 2011. So now we're going to walk back up to this Piedmont aircraft. It's got a set of stairs. I don't know if we can go inside or not, but I'll bring you right back. You know, at this museum there is a teaching school, and this 727 is a replica of the Piedmont Airlines. Now that I'm on this side and can see the signs, this plane was actually donated by FedEx and painted to resemble the Piedmont Tampa Bay pacemaker. It says, after the aircraft's requirements, utilized by our high school students as the only fully functioning Boeing 727 classroom in the United States. And there is a STEM academy here. I did see that out front of the building. So I guess they teach high school classes on this plane. And here's the other side of that Lockheed XVF-1. Very interesting propeller design. Of course, obviously it was designed to go straight up. Well, we're going to walk back around to the front of the building and check out some more planes. Okay, I showed you this Navy plane on the way in. And if you want to know something about Navy planes, go check out Ed's attention to detail. He's a scale model builder, but Ed's retired Navy. And Ed, just again, thank you for your service. But go check out Ed's attention to detail, and he can tell you a lot about Navy planes. Of course, I showed you that Air Force Thunderbird, and I was raised as a military brat with my stepfather being in the Air Force. I'm more partial to the Thunderbirds than I am the Navy Blue Angels. Sorry, Ed. It's starting to get a little dark here and a lot of thunder, so we might be fixing to get wet. So Jackie and Andrew's headed to the truck, but here you can see got a couple little whirly birds. The green one on the right is from the United States Army, and the white one on the left just says here it belongs to the Aerospace Museum. So we have a couple of more planes down there, and then our tour will be over. And it is now lightning. There was a big bolt just went by, so I'm not going to stay out here very long. Another building here at the National Air Museum is the Piedmont Aerospace Lab. I didn't research it, but a little private plane sitting out here, little twin engine, little red whirlybird. There is a sign on this, so let me go see what that sign says. Little itty bitty helicopter, R-22 Beta. Says this is a maintenance school and this aircraft is under maintenance training. And then the last plane says European Air Transport Service, and that is an oldie but a goodie. So I'm gonna turn you off till I get up there and see what the sign says. And now you can see it, tail number 315221. I know there's somebody out there that knows how to look at these tail numbers and see a history of this plane. That says Eats in Tempelhof. or whatever that means. And this plane is the C-47 Skytrain. It's the military version of the DC-3, and it has a unique distinction of participating in the Berlin airlift in the late 1940s. So I'm getting out of this Lightning. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I say, I'm really not proficient at these type videos, but if you're ever in Central Florida, come take and spend some time at the Florida Air Museum. It was $15 for an adult. Of course, Andrew got in free because he's active military, so come get a look if you got some time. Till then, y'all take care and God bless.